Welcome to Scared Shitless. Just when you think we are finished making Scream content, we make more Scream content because we are going to beat this franchise like a dead horse. So today we are going to be doing a tier list of Scream characters, and I'm Ryan. I am joined by Al.
What's your favorite scary movie?
And Jamie. And I don't know if you're actually wanting an answer for my favorite scary movie or if it's a rhetorical question to viewers.
It was a rhetorical question, but feel free.
A Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite scary movie. And viewers, let us know in the comments what is your favorite scary movie. So we have this tier list here. So
I love and scary. Was it Scary Movie 4? It was like, what's your favorite scary movie? And someone just went Bambi.
Scream 4.
Yeah, Scream 4. Yeah,
it was Kirby.
It was Kirby. Yeah,
she's awesome. Yeah,
she was awesome. So the tiers we have: S tier. This is the absolute pinnacle, the best. We then have A, B, C, D, and F for the characters who just straight up fail. So S best, F worst, A to D in between. So we'll go through the characters one by one. We have a list here. Heads up for anyone interested, I did not make this list. I found it on Tier Maker. So anyone looking to do something similar, go check out Tier Maker. Right. So let's start with Sidney Prescott because it's Scream after all. I think we all know which tier she's going on, but Al, where do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. S
tier. Jamie,
she's
100%, man.
We're all in agreement. Sidney Prescott is S tier.
Yeah, absolutely. She's throughout all of it, she's just absolutely fantastic. So no questions there.
Well, we do like the main three first. Get them out of the way. So, all right, let's go for Gail Weathers. Where is she down here? She is here somewhere. I do not see her. She surely on this list. Again, be better if I made this list. I would know where she was.
It'd be better if they had their names on them as well.
There she is, Gail Weathers.
She's there.
It's an image of her from Scream 1, which is, she looks very different by Scream 4.
She was definitely a class S bitch right at the start.
she was, yeah.
She was a brilliant character. I think all three of the main characters are S tier characters. Just putting that out there.
I would agree that Gail Weathers is an S tier character. What do you think, Al?
Yep, I'm fine with that.
I wouldn't. Let's go with Dewey. I wouldn't give Dewey S tier. I would put Dewey in the A tier.
Yeah, I think he's an A. Yeah, well, I'm outvoted, but there we go.
you agree with me, Al? You think he's A tier?
Yes, I wouldn't put him S.
Put him in A tier then.
Dewey's great, but in comparison to Sidney and Gail, is he the same level as Sidney and Gail? I don't think so.
He's a different character. He adds a lot more entertainment to the movie, and
he does. He does.
Just his ploddishness is absolutely hilarious, and Scream's a partly funny, partly scary movie. So I think without him, it wouldn't be as good. But he can still bring that in the A tier.
Let's say very top of the A tier. Let's say that. I think straddling S tier.
Is Ghostface in the photos like the act, or is it the people who
all the
people who played him
are here? So yeah, each individual one. But how about next we go for Cotton Weary? Which tier, Jamie, would you put Cotton?
D. I can't really remember much of him apart from I can't remember him from when we saw him before in the Scream movies. I just remember him getting killed and I was happy about it.
D for douchebag.
D for dick. Yeah.
You think he's what about you, Al? Where would you put him?
Yeah, I agree with Jamie. D for douchebag.
I wouldn't have put him on the D tier, but I probably would have given him C, but I've been outvoted here, so that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, let's go with Randy. Randy gave us the rules of the horror movie in both Scream and Scream 2. We then get a video of him in Scream 3 and find out that he died because he lost his virginity in the video shop over the summer. So, where would you give Randy, who was brutally killed by Mrs. Loomis in Scream 2?
I liked Randy,
Yeah.
and I liked that he brought the rules in. So I think probably because he's a more sideline character, probably B.
B tier. Jamie, where would you put him?
Honestly, I don't know. B, A. I'd maybe put him in A tier because the rules were a big part of the Scream thing, and
I'm actually going to agree with you, Jamie. I think Randy's an A tier character.
I'm easily swayed. I wasn't set on B, but yeah, well, I do like him, so yeah, I'm quite happy for being an A.
Yeah, I would say lower A tier. If each tier has a scale, I would say Dewey's at the high end and Randy's at the low end. But I do think he's a high end A tier character. So let's continue with characters from the first movie and go with Dewey's sister Tatum, who of course was killed by the world's most powerful garage door. Where would you put Tatum, the character who actually gave Ghostface his unofficial moniker, as it were?
a hell of a kill.
It was a hell of a kill. It was very memorable. So, Al, what tier would you put Tatum in? I'm losing her.
C.
C tier.
Yeah, I can't think that she's particularly like she's quite good in the film, but she doesn't. There's nothing massively memorable other than a couple of like good insults towards Dewey.
Okay.
And her death, obviously.
And her death. What tier would you say, Jamie?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Like, she wasn't in the franchise long enough to. Well, to be honest, that's not a criteria for whether or not they're. Put it this way: the only thing I remember about her is her kill. I don't even remember her insults to Dewey.
Okay.
So quite forgettable for me.
Fair enough. I liked her as a character. I thought she was. I thought she played Sydney's best friend well. I like the scene where her and Sydney are sitting chatting after Sydney had punched Gail, and Tatum's like reenacting it on the teddy bear, and she's like, "Bang! Bitch went down." I think she done good, and yeah, like you say, memorable death as well. So okay, we then have the principal who was killed. I cannot remember his actual name in the series.
Henry Winkler.
Oh. Right. But I mean, personally, I would say he's a D tier character if there ever was one.
For me, he would be, but that scene where he like puts those two douchebags in their place in the school, I thought that was badass.
It was where he cuts up the mask, but I mean, would you really put him higher than Cotton Weary? Cotton was, in 3 of the movies. I mean, very briefly, to be fair, but would you put him, who was in a couple of scenes, over Cotton?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you think he is C tier?
As I say, I can't tell me who Cotton Weary was again.
Cotton Weary was the character who was accused of killing Maureen Prescott.
Right. No, don't worry. I know who he is now. Yeah. I'd still say he's a D character, and yeah, the principal's better than him.
Okay. What do you think, Al? We're going by consensus here, so.
I'm happy with D. I did like that scene. That scene was really funny when he lost his shit and cut with the mask and stuff like that. But yeah, it was that scene.
Okay, so So are we putting them on C or D? Sorry, I
Stick
missed that.
him on
D.
stick him on D. Stick him on D.
D.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've moved them ahead of Cotton Weary, but still on D tier. So Cotton
Yeah.
is literally at the bottom of the D tier now. So I hope he's are happy.
I am.
Kenny, Gail's cameraman from the first Scream, who actually died somewhat heroically, despite Gail being a bit of a bitch towards him. He did go to attempt to save Randy, and as a result, got his throat slit. He also got visibly excited in the movie when they thought Cotton was an innocent man, because he thought we could save an innocent man, and Gail just thought it would boost our book sales. So I think Kenny was actually a good guy, but I think he was at the same time underdeveloped. I would have liked to have seen a bit more character from him, but obviously you can only get so much from everyone.
Yeah, they weren't going to spend time,
Yeah,
diving into the background of the cameraman.
yeah. So because of that, I would put him D tier as well. But I think he was a good D tier character. I'd say he was pretty high D tier, even maybe low C tier. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
What do you think? High D or low C?
I'll stick him in D.
D.
That's fair.
I think we're just going to stick a lot of characters in D. Stick them in D. But I mean, to
Yeah,
be fair,
stick them in.
that's how it goes. So I think, with the exception of 2 characters, we have ranked all the characters from the original movie. So let's get on to the 2 from the original that really matter, and let's go with Billy Loomis. Which tier would you put the original Ghostface into?
Depends what we're ranking him on, I suppose.
I personally would. I would put Billy in the A tier category. I think, he kicked off the whole thing. I think he was a great psychopath. I would put him in the A tier. The only reason I wouldn't put Billy in the S tier is because there's a Scream killer. There's a Ghostface I prefer to him.
Yeah.
Fair play.
But he
definitely deserves to be in the A tier of characters. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay, then we've got Stu. Where would you put Stu, the second Ghostface from that movie? I would say he's not quite as good as Billy, just because he's a wee bit less developed. But I think Matthew Lillard was great as him. I would put him B tier, and that's mostly because of Matthew Lillard's performance, really uplifting the character. Realistically, I think if it wasn't for Matthew Lillard, Stu would be a C tier at best. What do you think?
I'd put him A.
You'd put
because
him A?
I certainly think he takes more than some people.
Jamie, where would you put Stu?
I think I thought they were both great, to be fair.
Okay. I'll be outvoted.
I think he provided so much of the comedy in that first one. There's like some of the most memorable lines from the entire Scream franchise are his.
I agree. I agree.
I think he should be in the A.
The only reason I would have said less than Billy is because his motivations aren't as clear, and he's just kind of along for the ride. But
we're on the, you're on the line of, do I stick him into A? But you're on the line of, I would stick him into S, so they can both be in the A tier. But it's the same thing. Billy's higher than.
That's very true. Yeah. I'm actually going to move Billy to the top of the A tier because he's better than Dewey as far as I'm concerned. Billy is.
Yeah.
And can we move Stu up one so he's after
Dewey, but before Randy?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
We're ranking within the ranking.
we are.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So that is us from the first movie. So let's go on to Scream 2, where we have Sydney's boyfriend, I forget his name, but he does that absolutely cringeworthy song in the cafeteria.
On the tables. Oh, I
Yeah,
don't even, fuck
and
it.
and dies
Nobody
by
cares. F.
getting shot. F tier. Okay.
Nobody cares about him. That's my vote. The fact that you can't even remember his name and you know everybody's name in this franchise says it all.
Where would you put him, Jamie?
It was a shame he died though. Like he didn't do anything, you know.
He didn't, but that's kind
Yeah.
of why he belongs in such a low. He was
Yeah,
boring.
yeah.
He was such a boring character that he just wasn't memorable. And had he been a ghost face, it would have been more interesting. But instead, he gets himself tied up and shot, and that's
Yeah, right. Stick him in the loser section.
okay.
Yes.
So he's in the F. So next we have the Gale's cameraman from Scream 2. Who actually shows some common sense, and when the killings start to happen, he's like, "We got to get the fuck out of here. He's like, we're not hanging about filming this. Let's leave."
I think he deserves to be a little bit higher than we would probably put him normally, just because of that. He's one of the few people in the entire series as the common sense. Though I can't remember. I think I'm probably paraphrasing, but he's basically like, white people are dying. This black man's getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And it's like, I totally agree with him.
Like, why are you trying to chase down these killers with a camera? They're getting,
Yeah.
He's got, and he stood up to Gale Weathers, and that was something.
I would put him in C tier because of that.
Yeah, he could C tier's fine. Yeah.
I think lower. Otherwise, he'd be lower. We have 0 B tier characters at the moment.
So far,
yeah. Okay, we then have Haley, who was Sydney's best friend or roommate in Scream 2, who got stabbed by Ghostface after they escaped from the car.
I don't care.
She's definitely not as good as Tatum. Tatum's C tier. I think
D?
that puts Haley D tier. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm putting her after Cotton as well. Cotton's not on the bottom of that.
Yeah.
Screw you guys. I'm making an executive decision here.
Ryan's trying to bump his man Cotton up a little bit.
I am. I'm trying to in this for saving Cotton. Okay, we then are down to the killers from Scream. So the primary killer from Scream 2 would of course be Mrs. Loomis.
Oh.
Or at least so which tier would you place Mrs. Loomis?
She's in it for so little, and it's like
I remember being not impressed with the killers in Scream 2, even though the whole movie was great.
I like Timothy Olyphant because, he's plays crazy really well and he's quite badass. But she's just kind of like tacked on at the end, and it's like, who gives a fuck?
I agree. Plus, we know that the only person we know for a fact that she killed was Randy. She stabbed Dewey, which did not kill him.
Bottom of D.
Bottom of D. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I won't argue with that. I think she's D tier. And then we have Mickey, who controversially is potentially my favorite Ghostface. I think Mickey was fantastic as Ghostface. I would place him S tier. I know for a fact you disagree with that.
It wasn't Mickey I had the problem with, it was the mum.
Yeah. I think Mickey was great. I think he was a great killer. I think he done some great kills that we can definitely attribute to him. He threw Sarah Michelle Gellar off a balcony, who I've just noticed is not in this list, by the way. She's not one of the characters here. But
that was my favorite kill in all of Scream. Like he's S tier.
Yeah, he threw her off a balcony. Yeah. He got.
I think
got
put
some
him
good
between
kills. He killed
Stu and Dewey.
Between Stu and Dewey. Okay.
I think that's fair.
What do you think, Jamie? You think that's a fair spot?
Yeah, I like Dewey.
You like Dewey? We're talking about Mickey. Anyway.
No, put him between Stu and Dewey. Like, don't put him above Dewey.
Okay. Right, that is Scream 2 officially ranked, seeing as we don't have Sarah Michelle Gellar. So Scream 3, we have, and all of these characters are somewhat forgettable, but let's call her Fake Sydney. I believe her real name was Amanda.
Fuck.
She won the
All of
contest
them.
to play Sydney in the movie.
F.
All of them pissed me
Yeah.
off. Fake Gail, fake Sydney, fake all of them. F go.
Black Randy.
F.
Black Randy's going F. I mean, it's yeah. We're just effing all the Scream 3 fake Gail, she getting an F as well. F, okay.
Yeah.
As Jennifer. And well, I suppose we've just F'd them also. Roman is the final one, the actual killer. Where do we place Roman? Is he getting F'd like the rest of the Scream 3 characters?
When he did the reveal, I was like, who that? You know?
Yeah.
And then it's like the whole brother F, fuck him.
F.
Yeah.
Yeah.
F for
Okay.
fuck him and fuck that film.
And the takeaway from today's video is F Scream 3. That is, I think that is where we're at. Okay, so we are on to Scream. Oh no, we've missed one. We've missed one Scream 3 character.
Oh no.
Creepy detective. Who was...
I thought he was all right actually. The guy that played him did a really good job of making him like
a red herring, like really, yeah. Okay, I'd still give him a D. I wouldn't put him above D, definitely.
That's fair.
So D it is. Okay, now let's go on to the Scream 4 cast. Oh no, we've missed one other. We missed Fake Dewey, who got blown up in Scream 3. Is he getting F'd with the rest of the Scream 3 cast? He's getting F'd.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
We've F'd a lot of them. He's getting F'd.
I did like him getting exploded. That was good.
Yeah, Jamie liked the fact that he got blown up. Not necessarily him, just the fact that there was an explosion.
It could have been empty, and I still, no one could have been in it, and I still would have enjoyed it.
Boom, boom, yay!
It is also just good that they killed someone differently in that film, because all the kills were so boring in Scream 3. It was nice to have something a bit different. But okay, Scream 4. So we have Olivia, who was quite brutally murdered in her room across from everybody else while Ghostface was hiding in the closet.
I think she deserves a B solely in the fact that she had a great kill. Like, she was killed in a brilliant way. Like, I know there wasn't that much of her character, but I think like she deserves to go up reasonably high because it was one of my favorite kills in the whole franchise.
We also got the obligatory bra shot for her, which they hadn't given us.
Of course.
So, okay, we then have was it Travis, Jill's very forgettable boyfriend.
Dick.
Yeah, he's just...
Yeah, I can't stand him. Yeah, D.
I would even put him in the F because I think he was as boring, if not more boring, than Sydney's boyfriend from Scream 2.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
That's my reasoning for that.
Join the Scream 3 cast.
Yes. We then have Robbie, who the character who live streamed everything, including his own death. I
quite like him.
Yeah, I think he was an interesting enough character.
I think B. Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there.
Yeah.
We have Sydney's agent, who's played by Alison Brie, who was a cold-hearted bitch, much like Gail Weathers from the original movie. And she was like, "Oh yes, do you know what this is going to do for Sydney's book sales?" C.
Yeah.
C, potentially, yeah. I think C, yeah.
Well, yeah.
She did a great job of making me a lot like her, so
yes.
Good acting right there.
Good acting.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, we have a creepy female cop who was just a massive
He's
red
coming
herring.
back in the next one.
Is she?
Yeah, we looked at the cast the other day after we were chatting. She's back in the next one.
Okay. I mean, from what we saw in her in Scream 4, I would say she's C tier, maybe even D tier.
Bottom of. See, like I much prefer the cameraman and the headmaster over her.
Yeah.
So I think yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think D tier it is then. And no amount of her lemon squares is going to save her from the D tier.
Yeah. Crappy lip. crappy lemon squares apparently.
Okay, we have
Gone to Gale.
right. The two cops from Scream 4 are here separately, but I think they should be on the same tier, even although Anthony Anderson died phenomenally.
I think those two are either A or S tier because they were brilliant, even though they were in such a tiny part of the movie.
Yeah.
But they had great chemistry.
I agree they should be A. I think S might be pushing it, but
okay,
Yeah,
I
they were
would have
without
said
any time to develop them though. It was just like that was brilliant what they got.
I would have said B tier for them both, but seeing as you both said A, I will be overruled. Right, Kirby. I don't give a shit what you say.
She's an S tier, man.
Yeah.
S
Okay,
tier.
Yeah.
okay, we're all in agreement. I was like, she's getting put S one way or the other, but okay, we're in agreement. Okay, so let's go with Charlie because we will save Jill for last. So,
B.
You think Charlie's a B tier character?
Yeah. There's not quite enough to him to make him A, I don't think. I mean, all the people in A are some of like my favorite characters, whereas he's just not quite there.
I
think
agree.
it's fair that he's with his friend, the two of them that were always together.
Olivia,
I would say that they're fairly equal.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with that. That's good reasoning. You know, you've that's one tier higher than I would have put him. I would have put him C tier, but I actually thinking about it, he's not because he belongs in the same tier as Robbie. And if Robbie makes B tier, then I would say Charlie also makes B tier.
Because I quite liked them as like a sort of like daft wee pairing, the two of them kicking around all the time, and then the fact that he ended up becoming a killer as well gives him a wee bit more interest too. So,
agreed. Okay, so we are left with Jill Roberts, played by
S.
She's S tier as well. Yeah.
Okay. So from
I'm just looking at C tier, and I'm like, you know that policewoman. I like Cotton better than I like her.
The policewoman is on D tier. S tier, it's Tatum at the start. That I think
that's
you're looking
Tatum,
at.
Yeah.
Wait, where am I looking?
Yeah, Cotton is above her. I forgot her name. Officer Judy. That's it. Yes. So on S tier, we have Sydney, Gail, Kirby, and Jill.
That's a strong team.
Yeah.
But it also indirectly means we have rated Jill as the best Ghostface.
I agree with that.
You agree with that?
I'm happy with that.
I certainly think her reveal was the best as Ghostface.
Yeah.
I did not see it coming.
And then her subsequent like whole scene where she just assaults herself, that was grim.
Yeah,
and like
phenomenal.
So the insanity in her face was it was just a great scene.
Yeah. So okay, this probably actually is our final Scream video, maybe. Could be.
Unless we can think of anything else, because we will continue to flog this dead horse.
No, I mean, who knows? We'll see what happens. But potentially is actually our final one. But if you want to know more about our thoughts on Scream, go and check out our other show, a horror retrospective, where we discuss each individual movie in detail. We talk about the kills, we talk about the killers, we talk about their motivations, and we do another horror retrospective episode where we discuss the franchise as a whole, and we talk in detail about Sidney Prescott, Gail Weathers, Dewey Riley, what we want to see in the next one, and stuff like that. So go check that out. If you want some Harry Potter content, Jamie does that over on his channel at Potter Nerd.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else from us before we go? No, nothing else from us before we go. So we will be back for one last scare.